Is your copier jamming all the time? Or is the paper coming out curled? Well, it may be your paper. Believe it or not, paper is the most important aspect when it comes to a copier or printer. And there's 3 things that you need to know that involves paper that we're going to talk about next. One of the things is loading your paper, where to store your paper, and making sure you're not buying too cheap of paper. So we're going to talk about those 3 things next. I want you guys to stay tuned. Let's get loaded. Alright, so let's start with the easiest thing, and that's paper storage. Where do I store my paper and how do I store my paper? This is okay, this is not. What you don't want to do is leave your paper out in the open like this when it's already open. If it's open, you should get that into your paper, into your copy machine or printer, and keep it there because that will help to protect it. Now, even in the copier or printer, letting it sit for too long will also cause paper curl. And what happens is that there's moisture that gets into the paper. So if you live in a high humidity area, or if you just rained, the moisture from the rain or from the high humidity area actually gets into the paper. And then when it has to pass through the fusing unit, it actually curls. Especially if you're running double-sided, which it has to come through again, and it'll give you like a double curl, so you'll see this, and can cause paper jams. So you want to make sure that your paper is always stored inside the ream like this, and try to make sure you're not storing this in an environment that has too high of humidity, or like I said, just after it rained or anything. Try to make sure it's in a little warmer environment, and I'll show you guys where we store our paper, which is weird, but it is in our bathroom. And I'm sorry my light doesn't work right now, but I have to get a new light. But as you see there, our paper's stored in the bathroom because in our warehouse, it's a little warmer in there as opposed to outside. So we store our paper there, and it always stays warm and moisture free. So that's paper storage. Let's move on to paper loading. Okay, some of the most common jams we get on copiers is because the paper was loaded incorrectly. So what you want to do is just get the paper, open up the ream. Believe it or not, the paper has 2 sides to it. So let me just get this ream open here. Most people just get their paper and then they just throw it in. That's an absolute no-no. So the first thing you want to do, as you can see, this paper already has a couple little curled edges there, so you want to get rid of that. The first thing you need to do is grab your paper and just kind of feel it. Feel the paper. And then you start the fanning process. Just get a nice fan in there. And you should feel it. Now, the paper, and this is all by feel, should have a type of U-shaped curl like this in it. One of them will just flex a little easier than the other one. Well, I can tell this side is it. So on that side that you feel, let me actually get this on the table 1 second. Just want this to be nice and straight. All right, now, once you feel that little curl-shaped U, that's gonna be the side that you put down. And what you wanna do is lift up on the flap, slide this in curled, and then drop it. Then after you drop it, you want to fan both sides. The main reason why you do that is you want to lift up on the bottom of the paper and make sure that the sides did not curl in on themselves. This is one, I'm going to actually do it here so I can show you. This is one of the most common jams we get when the paper was loaded incorrectly. You pull the paper out. Basically it should have been like this, I messed it up, but you'll see the paper curled in on itself just like that. That's because the paper was loaded wrong. And when everything will print fine until it gets to this sheet, and then it's going to jam on you and you're going to get caught. So you can prevent that by just loading the paper correctly. Fanning it like so, finding the U-shaped side, and then putting it down that way. Lift it up on the flap, put it down in, and then fan it. And then making sure everything is straight as possibly can be. Just doing that step alone is gonna prevent so many jams, trust me. So let's talk about the last thing, and that's just not to buy cheap paper. All right, so before we end this video, I just wanted to talk to you guys about cheap paper. This paper is from Costco. It's not the cheapest. It's not the best, but it's not the cheapest. And it's actually really good. It has a really good wrapper that keeps the moisture in. The paper is fantastic, has a nice little gloss to it. I don't even have any crappy paper to show you guys because we don't buy that crap. But crappy paper, you're gonna be able to see through it really easily. It's gonna be really finicky. It curls really easily. You can just tell. It'll be the cheapest paper you can find. So obviously you'll know because it'll have the cheapest price tag. Just go up a couple extra bucks than the very base level. You don't have to do the most premium, but go up about $2-3 per ream and you should get a lot better quality. This paper from Costco is fantastic. We haven't had no issues with it in the field at all. So let's just go ahead and recap. Back to what I was talking about earlier, proper paper storage. Make sure it's in an environment that's a little bit more warm, that's not in an air-conditioned room if possible, or doesn't have high humidity, or it just rained. We always get service calls right after it rained that, hey, my paper's curling, and we let the people know there's moisture in your paper. Sometimes they believe it, sometimes they don't, but it's a real thing, trust me. The second thing is paper loading. Make sure you load your paper in the tray as straight as it can. You fan the paper and you make sure you can see that there's a U shape forming. If you can see the paper here, you can see that it's trying to form this way. And in that direction is the direction you want to put your paper down in. It will help. If you do it this way, it's actually going to be the wrong side and it may cause jams. So we talked about paper storage, we talked about paper loading, and then the last thing again, just make sure you don't buy extra cheap paper because you are gonna feel it with curls and paper jams. Also, the quality of your paper and your image will actually be affected as well. Better quality paper, your image will pop a lot better. So, thank you guys for watching. This is a really important video. And it's we try to tell our customers and a lot of them believe us, a lot don't. So we just want to let everybody know paper is really important, and you know, we just want to get the paper practices up and a lot better for everybody. So thank you guys for watching, and please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video. See ya. Bye bye.